little bit quieter with the slap this week because I'm using the 12 gauge microphone, so picks up a little bit more phantom powered. You may hear the Cardinals in the background, which, I talk about that during the narration, so won't bore you again with that. Here we are, we're finally at the first strip of Reefer Madness. You know I was going to take my time with this one. And probably the first dual part strip, second part will come out next week. But everything that's in this is, of course, taken from the Bible, Joe Bangs. Hawkwind, Days of the Underground. I believe I'm halfway through it. Yeah, you can see the playing card there. As a former street magician, I use playing cards for bookmarks, because that's one thing you're going to end up with a lot of is use playing cards. So they're useful as bookmarks. And also within the narration, I talk about a technique I discovered by reading The Strange Death of Alex Raymond by the incomparable Dave Sim. Dave Sim, responsible for Cerebus. You can look up all of that on there, but I will say Cerebus is the one comic that I remember issues, because issues of Cerebus, for a comic that started off as a parody of Conan with a sword swinging aardvark, man, he hit some emotional and intellectual depths in that strip, or in that book. Hats off. Amazing piece of work. Definitely check it out, no matter what the controversy is. And I believe at this time I've rambled off enough. Part 2 will come out next week, maybe a few days late, because Kathleen will be on a business trip and the scanner's connected to her computer, but I'll have other stuff out there for you. Once again, thank you so much for putting up with me, and love y'all. Take care. Bye. Now, the first thing that you'll notice is the marijuana monster is already inked, and that's because I kind of wanted to kick back, and I was doing him with a really fine line. I believe it was a Secure Micron 0.03, so he's already inked when we started, so apologies on that one. But you'll notice here we are, putting in the buildings, and this was actually the most fun, because it wasn't the most fun, but it was hella fun, because growing up we always had creature feature. My parents would let us stay up on Saturdays. We were young too, in order to see that, and my brother would stay up and he would make it until the opening sequence of Creature Feature, where Godzilla came rising up out of the water, and he would haul ass for his bedroom. So fond memories of Kaiju flick. And this is the first of a two-parter. Number 29 is going to be a two-parter, and last week I showed you just working on the Reefer Madness cover, and now we're getting into Chico listening to Reefer Madness, which I have to say, out of all the Hawkwind albums, I believe Astounding Sounds Amazing Music is the best one to accompany, a left-handed cigarette. Then again, there's so many good ones that you could actually do. Or you're on the edge of time. But Astounding Sounds Amazing Music does seem to be the perfect blend. Live album, then Astounding Sounds Amazing Music. I don't think that's a controversial opinion. There's always people who are going to take issue, but from what I've noticed, Hawkwind fans are a pretty chill group, so it's wonderful. And I wanted to make Chico's chair not a direct lift, but an homage to Pee-wee's Playhouse. And I mean, Pee-wee's Playhouse is just so amazing. Every artist that worked on that show, it just shows how great they were. Once again, I'm in love with that Da Vinci lettering brush. The great thing is I learned a trick from Dave Sims' book, The Strange Death of Alex Raymond. He has a wonderful discovery that he made in copying that photorealistic style on how to do it. I believe it's called the Nightingale strokes. Anyways, I do believe The Strange Death of Alex Raymond is the most unexpected Philip K. Dick book to be produced in modern times, so highly recommended. I may do a review of it, but cartoonist kayfabe, they went in depth on that book, so it would kind of be repeating things that have already been done in a far superior fashion than I would accomplish. Yeah, you'll notice I pulled out the Arteza watercolor pencils for this bit, just to really get in there at those tight spots within Chico's thoughts. They're that thought bubble, and I really like using them. I mean, we all know I'm not a masterclass artist, so I'm not really going to stress out. Arteza supplies work remarkably fine for me. Yeah, you could catch a little jump of the weed there in the bone. Had to use it for reference on the marijuana monster. And of course I had to subject Kathleen to watching Reefer Madness yet again. But it was great because I did pull some samples that I'll use in the future, so there's no big surprise there. Yeah, and there was only in slight instances that I came in with the water brush and kind of smooth things out. I don't know, in my limited knowledge, I do believe you're supposed to do that majority of the time, but I kind of like the effect that watercolor pencils give on their own. And then, there's always the going in with color pencils after the watercolor pencils, but I didn't do it this time. And here I'm using gouache because I'm growing to love the way that gouache can lay down very flat surfaces very well. It's only due to my inexperience with it that there is, still brush strokes within that, and I own that. I mean, the great thing about doing this every week is A, it's public, and so you own your mistakes, and B, like I go back and look at the earlier ones, I'm like, hey, I can't be too hard on myself. I'm making progress, however negligible, and probably only apparent to myself. So there's something great about doing these weekly things and doing the music that goes with it, because you don't have the time to get precious, and you start to learn the tricks that people use to crank stuff out on a schedule and with limits, and I think it's a great thing. Because I certainly suffer over making things too grandiose in the initial planning stage and then actually finishing things, because I'm always like, oh, you can do this and you can do this, and it's like, just own your mistakes, move on to the next thing, have fun with it. The most important part. Deep Thoughts by the Stone Gimp. And you can see back to the cheap Chinese calligraphy brushes. Savior of the day. And the violet is, of course, gouache as well. And I do believe that is the Arteza gouache set. So, not sponsored by them. I mean, who's gonna care what my stone self is doing? I don't have enough viewers to even barely warn a channel. Just telling you what I use and what I find useful, and Arteza seems to be killing it. Arteza and what's the name? Oh yeah, Watercolor Confections. Seems like I plug them every week. But yeah, that is a deeply saturated palette of colors. I appreciate that. Watercolor Confections. You're doing a pretty good job there. I am using one of the 12 gauge mics in the shotgun shell today, so you may hear the cardinals out there. Global warming, not a great thing, but we have cardinals in New York now on nearly year round, so that is a good thing. And I can see we're coming to an end. Once again, love you all. Thank you for putting up with my crap. You are some patient people. And I appreciate that. And hopefully everything returns to some peaceful time soon. Anyways, love you. Take care. Bye.
You're not a Buddhist, darling. You won't understand. No one escapes from a